Today we're on a job site and we're going to go through the log preparation before staining and caulking. If you notice, some of these logs, some of them are white, some of them have turned a little bit yellow, some of them have dirt on it, and we're going to go through the process of cleaning that up today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to wet these logs down. We're going to get them good and wet just with a regular garden hose. Once the logs are all wetted down, what we're going to do is just take a regular garden sprayer, and what I have done, I have mixed 1 part bleach to 4 parts of water. We're going to lightly spray this on the logs and make sure that that stays wet for about 20 minutes. We let this sit now for about 20 minutes, and because it's very hot out here today and the sun is shining on it, we had to re-wet it a couple times. That's one of the big secrets of bleaching the log, is not to let that bleach dry. Now what we're going to do is we're going to power wash this down. Now with a power washer, we only want to use about 500 pounds per square inch. Most power washers today are up about 2,000. So the thing you have to do there is keep the nozzle back maybe 4 or 5 feet from the log. You don't want to fuzz the log up, so keep your nozzle back. It does not take a lot of pressure to clean this log off. Power washing it is no big job. Works very good to clean those logs up. Just make sure that you get all the bleach off. You can also run around the windows in case you got any of that bleach mixture on the windows and also on the soffit. What we're going to do now is let this dry for about good 3 days, and then we're going to come back and we're going to stain and caulk it. As you can see, the logs are starting to dry. They're turning nice and white from the bleaching and the power washing. We do that for twofold. One, to make sure that the logs get cleaned. The second reason is to make sure that we open up the pores. Again, through the milling process, the pores are being closed. We need to open them up so the stain actually soaks into the wood and you'll get a lot better, lot longer life out of your stain. Okay, before we start staining, it's very important to mix the stain up real well and keep it mixed up at all times. What we're going to be using is a white china brush, and it's very important. Take a couple rows and go all the way across. Do not take a section and then move over and take another section. As soon as this stain starts to set up, it will show a lap mark if you come back and try to go across. As long as you're painting or staining wet on wet, you're not going to leave any lap marks on it. Once we get this all stained, we're going to let it dry for 48 hours. We're going to caulk it and then come back and give it another coat. Now we have given it a coat of stain, we have let it dry for 48 hours, and we're going to come back and caulk it. We're going to caulk all the way around the windows and caulk every joint. Now the only thing on the caulking that's very important that you use at least a 3/8 inch bead of caulking. And we're going to finish caulking this up. Now if you get a place like right here where the caulking has missed, you can come back and just very carefully fill it in just like that. We're going to let this caulking dry for 48 hours. We're going to come back and give it its final coat of stain. Okay, we have put our second coat of stain on and it is dried, and we have a beautiful finished log home. Let's recap what we've done. First of all, we bleached it for 20 minutes, washed it, let it dry for 3-4 days, gave it a first coat of stain, came back and caulked all the joints and around the windows, let that dry for 24 hours, gave it the second coat of stain, and we're all done with our log home.